already been betrothed to the most eligible and admirable man in England. "Those are your words for him," Madeline said under her breath, tensing as her father and Lord Clifton entered the room. "Not mine." Like any other girl of 18, she had fantasized about marrying a handsome, dashing man who would fall madly in love with her. Lord Clifton was as far from those fantasies as it was possible to get. He was a man of 50, with a stocky build and flapping jowls. With his deeply furrowed face, balding head, and moist, heavy lips, he reminded Madeline of a frog. If only Clifton had a sense of humour, a kind nature, anything that she could find remotely endearing. But he was pompous and unimaginative. Rituals guided his life, the entertainments of the hunt and the racetrack, the concerns of estate management, the occasional speech at the House of Lords. Worse still, he had an unabashed disdain for music, art, and literature, all the things that Madeline hungered for. Seeing her from across the room, Clifton approached her with a thick-lipped smile. The corners of his mouth gleamed with moisture. Madeline hated the way he looked at her, as if she were a thing to be possessed. Inexperienced she might be, but she knew he wanted her because she was young, healthy, and presumably fertile. As his wife, she would exist in a more or less constant state of pregnancy until Clifton was satisfied with the number of boys she had produced. He wanted nothing of her heart, mind, or soul.
"My dear Miss Matthews," he said in a deep, croaking voice, "you grow lovelier every time I see you."
He even sounded like a frog, Madeline thought, struggling to contain a slightly hysterical laugh. His clammy hand enclosed hers, and he raised it to his lips. She closed her eyes and steeled herself against a shiver of disgust as she felt his bloated lips brush the back of her wrist. Mistaking her reaction as one of maidenly modesty, perhaps even excitement, Clifton regarded her with a deepening smile. He asked her to walk outside with him, and her objections were swiftly overcome by her parents' enthusiastic agreement. They were determined to have a man of Clifton's means and influence in the family. Whatever Lord Clifton wanted, he could have. Reluctantly taking her fiancé's arm, Madeline strolled through the garden, a formal, precise arrangement of maythorn hedgerows, tidily sanded paths, and boxed-in flower-beds.
"Enjoying your holiday from school?"
Lord Clifton asked, his small but heavy feet crunching on the grey-white path. Madeline kept her gaze on the ground before them. "Yes, thank you, my lord."
"No doubt you have a desire to leave the academy, as your companions have done," Clifton remarked. "Your parents kept you there 2 years longer than the other girls at my request."
"Your request?" Madeline repeated, startled that he had such influence over them. "But why?"
"I felt it would be good for you, my dear,"
he said with a self-important smile.
"You needed polish and discipline. A perfect fruit must be allowed to ripen. Now you are not so impetuous as you were then, As I intended, you have learned patience."
Hardly. Madeline wanted to snap at him, but somehow she kept her lips clamped shut. 2 extra years of the rigid confinement of Mrs. Albright's Academy for Young Ladies had nearly driven her mad. It had allowed her rebellious, over-imaginative nature the time to ferment into something wild and unmanageable. 2 years ago, she had been too timid and easily led to have objected if her parents married her to Clifton. Now, however, the words patience and obedience didn't belong in her vocabulary.
"I have brought something for you," Clifton remarked. "A gift you've been anticipating, I am certain."
He drew her to a stone bench and sat with her, his soft body pressing against her side. Madeline waited wordlessly, finally meeting his gaze with her own. Clifton smiled, like some indulgent uncle.